don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to be able to find it. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about New Year's resolutions. This is actually the first video in a two-part series talking about how to make and keep your New Year's resolution. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Now I get it, 2020 has been weird on a level not seen in our lifetime. And it's making looking forward to 2021 kind of strange. For example, I know a lot of people put travel more on their New Year's resolution list, but travel still doesn't look like what it used to, and we're not exactly sure when it's going to go back to normal, whatever it is that's going to look like. However, this video isn't going to be me telling you what you should and shouldn't put on your New Year's resolution list. It's more about how you should go about structuring your resolution and writing it out in a way that makes it actually attainable for you. Basically, this video is about goal setting because resolution is just a formal, fancy way of saying goal. But many people aren't very good at setting goals even in the middle of the year. They're often unrealistic and not very specific and more like dreams than they are goals, which when you think about it is what happens to a lot of New Year's resolutions. But if you go into the new year with nothing but a vague plan and bright-eyed optimism, you'll likely become a member of the group that ditches their resolution by Valentine's Day. So if you struggle every year with setting a resolution and then ditching it before you ever make any progress on it, then this video is for you. And I am getting too old to sit on this floor, so time to move somewhere else. Okay, that's about 10,000 times better. All right, so what's in a goal? Some people say you should have a SMART goal, something that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, relevant, and time-based. While others will tell you that you should pick the biggest, scariest goal that you can possibly think of. So which is it? Well, my super definitive answer on the subject is both, and it depends. Now, before you say, forget this chick and click off, let me explain. The reason that it depends is because it depends on what kind of person you are. If you're the sort of person that only does the absolute bare minimum that is required of you, then a SMART goal is probably going to set the bar pretty low and you're unlikely to make any big progress. If this is who you are, then it might make more sense to set a loftier goal for yourself. However, if you're the sort of person whose head is always in the clouds, but as soon as it's time to start making progress on that massive goal, you shut down and get overwhelmed because you have no idea where to start, then it might be time to take a second look at SMART goals. But really, the secret comes in combining these two things because that's where the magic happens. Let's start with big goals. The problem with big goals is that they're usually pretty far away and we struggle to understand how we're supposed to get from here to there. So what happens is that we make the goal pretty vague. For example, some of the most common New Year's resolutions from last year and the year before that and the year before that and probably every year before that were to eat healthier and get more exercise. These are really great things to improve upon, but they are really vague. What does eating healthier even look like? Is it vegan, paleo, more vegetables, more water? What's more exercise? Is that 1 time a week, 6 times a week? Is it cardio, lifting, yoga? You can see why this doesn't work. If you don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to be able to find it. So let's take the perennial favorite New Year's resolution since pretty much forever, lose weight. Again, losing weight. Not very specific, so let's start by narrowing that down. How much weight do you want to lose and by when? So let's say that you wanted to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year. This certainly fits the big goal category. But by putting on those specifics of how much and by when, it starts to take on some of the characteristics of the SMART goal. It's now more specific, it's measurable, and it's time-based. And as far as I'm concerned, that's as far as you need to take that big goal. You can go ahead and write that down right at the top of your 2021 planner. When you're writing your big, scary goal, you can shove realistic right out the window. The realistic part will get sorted out when you start making your smaller goals and milestones that set you up for success. So if when you're doing your smaller goals to get you to your big goal, you realize your big goal isn't just big, it's completely unrealistic and damn near impossible, like maybe you said you wanted to lose 200 pounds in a year, then you can go back and reframe your big goal and either change your measurable amount or your time frame. Okay, now that you have a big goal, it's time to start breaking it down into smaller goals that are far more understandable. Our brains suck at trying to figure out how to do a large volume of work over a long period of time. Seriously, if we were any good at it, no one would ever procrastinate for 5.999 months only to have to write a 40-page term paper in one night. So going back to our weight loss example, losing 50 pounds in a year is roughly a pound a week. Breaking it down like that already makes it seem more manageable and more understandable than just trying to wrap your head around 50 pounds all at once. Another way to do this is to break your year down into quarters and find 4 mini goals or milestones to hit in each quarter. This is really helpful for a goal that you've never done before. For example, if you've ever published a book, I'm sure you have a much better idea of the whole process and how it's going to work for you than someone that's never attempted to write one before. But someone that's new to this process could start researching the process and find what the milestones are along the way. For example, the first draft and the editing process and shopping the book. Then you can take these milestones that you find and lay them out in 3-month chunks for yourself so that you can start your personal planning process. If when you go to do this process for this goal or any goal, you realize that a year is simply not enough time for you to complete your goal, then there's absolutely no shame in extending out your time frame to be as many quarters as you need to reach your goal. This planning process doesn't have to have any sort of arbitrary time limit like a year. You can always keep looking at what your next milestone is and figure out how you're going to hit that in the next 3-month time frame. And if you want to dive even further into planning quarters, then I highly recommend reading the book The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. And that's it for how to set effective goals for yourself in 2021, even if it ends up being some weird continuation of whatever it is that's going on now. Before you go, don't forget to like this video. It really helps me get it in front of more people that need it. And make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications so that you don't miss the second part of this series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. The problem with big goals is that the trash guys. Only to have to write a 40 person whose head is always in the cloud, but as soon as it subscribed, make sure that you hit that button down. If you enjoyed this video, you might also find these 2 videos about overwhelm and motivation helpful.